Hi, this is Tina Blanco, and today I have with me someone who I really love and admire. And he has his own podcast on YouTube, and it's called MonkeyWerx. So, Monkey, let's get started. Let's talk about communication and what you do and how it helps you and maybe a little bit about you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thank you for having me. I am it's a pleasure just working with you. And the satellite phone store has treated my customers and myself so well over the years. And it's just an awesome relationship. And I use your tools everywhere I go. I mean, I've got my sat phone right here with me. I've got a burner phone that I use that you guys sent me. And of course, my Starlink, it always keeps me connected. And you can look at the world around us today and just realize that having connectivity and understanding what's going on in the world is critical to your thought process. I mean, if something starts to go south and you are out of the vacuum of communication, you're flying blind, and it's definitely something that people need to really, really think about. It needs to be right there priority wise with food and water and anything else that you add to your quiver in terms of preparedness. And so now you were asking about me and what I do. I pursue my passion. This is I'm everything I do is faith based. My channel, when I track things around the world, I track a lot of military flights. I track a lot of just geopolitical events that happen around the world, and then I try to tie them into the actual flights that are taking place, so I can see when things are happening with, say, for example, Ukraine. I can tell when Trump says, I'm not sending anything else to Ukraine, I can literally see the difference in the flights that go to Ukraine almost immediately. When we start to put up troops down at the southern border, I'm able to look at the flights and look at the patterns and tell exactly what's going on down there. So that's what I do. That's what my channel does. And but again, like I said, all of it is critical and dependent upon having communications. It's if you don't have that, you're flying blind. You truly are. So yeah.
Literally flying blind. So everybody's like telling me now, because I fly a lot. I'm like on a plane like at least 5 to 6 times a month, every month.
Wow.
That's the least. And everybody's like, with everything that's happening, you're not afraid to fly still. And I'm like, you know what? I personally don't think that this year there are more mishaps than there's been in the past. Yeah. And it's only because they want to blame it on Trump, is what I get it. It's like he's laid off some really important people in the FAA, and that's the reason why all these mishaps are happening. What do you think? Do you think this is an unusual year, or do you think it's just normal? It's just we're getting more publicity.
I think it's a little bit of both. And here's why. If you just look at the law of averages and what we get every single year, are we in kind of the same amount? Like, has it changed at all? There is a little bit of an uptick. I will say that based on just the FAA's website in terms of reporting, events, it seems like there are more. There's been 87 so far this year in terms of airplane crashes and things like that, which seems to be a lot. But if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, it really is kind of in line with what we typically would see. You kind of forget about it after it happens. But then when you're right in the mix of it all, it seems like it's a lot. Time will tell, as we continue on. If we see the trend maintaining what we're seeing, then yeah, it'll absolutely be an uptick. But I don't think Trump has anything to do with that. In fact, all he's done is basically highlight the issues at hand, right? Which would be, and Elon's doing the same thing. So, hey, we are understaffed for the FAA. That's been known for a decade. The systems are dated with respect to tracking aircraft and everything that the FAA uses to ensure our safety while we're in the air. And that's been noted for decades. They said that you're going to get to a point where you're going to peak, and then you'll start to have a lot of issues. And I think we're probably getting close to that peak. In fact, Elon Musk just donated a bunch of Starlink systems to the FAA so that they have connectivity, because we're seeing a lot of outages and things like that happening with a lot of the major networks like Verizon and Frontier, et cetera. So I think time will tell whether or not this is going to be one of those years that is just kind of over the top statistically. But right now we are just kind of marginally in kind of, the swim lane of what we would typically see. So I think they just try to blame Trump for everything.
Yeah, I still think, I mean, if people are saying, oh, you should drive from Vegas to San Diego because that's where I go the most. And I'm like, well, that's like a 6-hour drive. And statistics show that I have 100 times better chance of survival on a plane than I do driving. So I think I'm going to go with the statistics. Yeah. So
yeah. I'm a stats guy. That's, my background is Lean Six Sigma black belt. And so I'm always about show me the data, and the data it typically doesn't lie unless it's been manipulated. But I will tell you, flying is definitely much more safer than driving. But for me, like if I had some family issues, because everybody that, my family's all down in Central Florida, and I think I would probably drive, honestly, but I'm not doing it every day, or 6 times a month like you. So that would be quite a bit. It's you're talking at least 24 hours for me to get there from here, and so that it would just be a one-off kind of thing. So if I had to do it a lot, I'd just get on the plane and go with it. But there's the future when it comes to air travel is going to be very robust, and the FAA just has to be able to function properly in that environment. And they haven't done a great job at preparing their systems and infrastructure to accommodate it. I mean, the same thing with our power grid. I mean, we're growing all over the country, but our power grid is really not. It's the same old stuff that we've always had, and so. Again, it just takes me back to the criticality of having the right stuff when you're prepping to prepare for those conditions, because eventually something is going to break. And when it does, having the ability to just, be able to get online and see what's really going on and not being in the dark is critical. It really is. It can save your life and save other people's lives.
Yeah, you mentioned, Elon Musk, is donating Starlinks. We really experienced some really amazing things by him also doing Hurricane Helene. So when Hurricane Helene hit North Carolina and communication was taken down, so we were getting a bunch of Starlinks out there to the folks. So when our first responders would go to bring food and water, they would also bring communication and bring satellite phones to them so that they can communicate, so that they can get the right products. Like some people needed insulin, how our first responders are supposed to know that, or baby formula, or baby food, or diapers, or what have you. So the only way that they can communicate was with satellite phones. And so we sent out some Starlinks there, and then lots of them, and we were like, oh my gosh, the price is Starlink, but now we have to pay, for all this usage. It was in terabytes, so it was such a high usage, and that's where the real big money comes in. And then before we knew it, Elon Musk made every single person that uses the service in that area was free. So we saved so much money because of that. I mean, that was just so amazing. And not just us, all the folks there that had Starlinks that were, already lost their homes. They lost so much. They're hungry. They have no food, no water, no fresh water. And, so to have that, so that's kind of like when our company and the people in North Carolina got to see the heart of him. And then also prior to that, Monkey, that we had a hurricane down in Fort Myer the year before. And he also donated all the Starlinks and the service to Ron DeSantis, but that never made the news. So it wasn't political. It wasn't anything. The guy is just, I think he's just a good guy.
Yeah. I agree with you. I was watching him on Joe Rogan's show the other day. And he talked about the fact that if he is successful in really bringing all of the stuff that is happening with our country, and I'm talking about the Doge piece of it, that they would actually kill him, is what he said. And to think about, that I'm going to keep pushing this envelope until I'm faced with a life or death decision. The fact that he is willing to do that, he doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need our money. He doesn't need anything. I mean, the guy is a billionaire and probably going to be one of the first trillionaires in our country, because of just he's a genius, the way he thinks, the way his business model is, and he's just got a very giving heart. And for him to come out and do that for these victims is it does speak volumes about his character, I think.
Yeah. It is kind of scary, the fact that he knows. And I don't even want to get into that because I have a lot of opinions. So let's, but what he does, and then look, I drive a Tesla. I love my Tesla. I use, the Starlink. You use the Starlink too. And he's made it so amazing. So I just want to let you know that we do sell Starlinks, and our customers can go to starlink123.com. And we created some programs that are kind of, and some programs are even cheaper than what Starlink offers. And plus, we're providing the unit at no cost, as long as the customers sign a 12-month agreement. So the one that you have is like this, right? This is so tiny, and it's amazing, and it's so easy to use. It's amazing how you can take this little thing here anywhere on the planet. You can go hiking, camping, you can go to Antarctica on a ship, and you can stream, or you can do a podcast, and you can stream movies. Or, just check your emails if you want to, kind of like, get away from technology for a little while. It's amazing that or make a phone call. This is amazing. It literally works from anywhere on Earth, and it's so tiny. And, at starlink123.com, we do offer them for free, and you just got to sign up on a monthly service. Do you have one? Do you like yours?
I love it. And what I really enjoy is just the fact that I can take it wherever I go. So if there's ever a point where I go, okay, you know what? I need to have some connectivity, and I'm not going to be anywhere near an internet source or Wi-Fi or whatever it may be. That bad dude, you throw it in that backpack with the bulletproof backpack that you sent me, and it literally, all you need is a power source and, line of sight. You just put it in your window, and you use the app. I use the Starlink app to make sure I'm lining, so I get the best connectivity in terms of finding satellites. But it's almost a no-brainer. You really don't even need to do that because it's going to connect. There's so many satellites up now with Starlink that. It's an amazing product. My guess is this is kind of like the microwave. Remember when they came out? They were big and they very expensive, up front. And he's continued to get the cost down on these things and the size down. And I think probably in the future you're going to find that thing is going to be the size of like a little handheld in terms of you just basically pop it out there and you're golden. And it won't take a very big footprint. And even that, the one that you sent me, the one you just showed, is it's small. It's really, when I first got it, I thought, how am I going to get this? Do I have to put this on the roof? How do I? And then I realized, I go, wait a minute, no, this thing is mobile. I don't have to mount it anywhere. I just take it with me. It's got a little kickstand on it that you just set up and prop up wherever you need, and you're off to the races. It is it's a game changer. It really is.
Yeah. And you're right. It does have a little stand right here, and you just take it outside and you just log in. The first time, if you haven't set up a password, it asks you to set up a password. Make sure you download the app before you go out in the middle of nowhere. But you know what? I mean, honestly, so I've been doing this for about 20 years now, the satellite. And so we had those begins and and those dishes and all of that. But they were not able to figure out how to make it this small. Toward the end, they did. They made a small one about this size. But the problem with it is that it cost about $3 or $4 per megabyte. Who can afford? I mean, if you use,
Yeah.
you could use 1,000 megabytes or 1,000 gigabytes in such a short term, your bill could go up to, five to $10,000. With
Yeah.
this, it's a flat fee, and it's just so
Yeah.
much better. Yeah, I really, really love how where technology's gotten because of
Yeah.
him. And also because of him, I think you had some questions about cell phones that we would like to kind of address with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually get this question from folks and they go, well, what's the difference? What do I need a satellite phone or do I need Starlink if I have my T-Mobile and it's got, it has Starlink embedded in it so that you can have satellite connection. And a lot of them are doing that, like AT&T or Apple even came out and said, oh, if your phone goes down, you've got this satellite feature built in. I've never had to use them, but it's a question I've always been, meaning to ask you. I'm like, well, what is the answer to that? Like, how does it work? What's the difference between what you guys offer versus what they're trying to push out there?
Right. So with cell phones, the only thing that you're able to do is you're able to text. You can't, there's no voice call, and you got to subscribe to that, to the service. So
Right.
yeah, in the future, I think it's going to be, they're still kind of in testing, and
Yeah.
I've never been able to get it to work yet, but
Right.
I'm sure things are going to get better and better. I think, Apple is with Global Star and
Yeah.
T-Mobile and others. I think Verizon. One of them is with Iridium, and then one is with Starlink. I don't know which is which, but there hasn't been one that has worked yet completely. And I think we're looking at least 5 years away from having a complete, meaning voice. And the reason why that I think that it's going to be really difficult to get voice, even difficult to get the satellite texting in it. And I think there's probably going to be some kind of a turn off, turn on, is also because of the radiation. How much radiation do you want to have on your phone?
Yeah.
We're already getting microwaved, and we can talk about that real quick too in a minute.
Yeah.
But the reason why you need Faraday products, but we're already getting microwaved. So the reason why the satellite phone has this antenna is because the antenna extends. This is
Right.
what the radiation is, but it goes above the skull. That's the reason why you see because you can leave it like this and you can still make a call, but this would be kind of dangerous because now you've got the radiation
Right.
coming, right. So the signal, it goes outward. So they made it so that it's above the skull, so that the radiation is going out and it's not coming to the head. Still, I would highly recommend that people use the speaker, and distance is your friend, not just with the satellite phone. The satellite phone is not as bad as a cell phone. Cell phone is way worse when you have the phone right next to your ear. The doctors are saying, I talked to a lot of doctors, a lot of family doctors, and they're saying that there's a record amount of people that are getting like thyroid cancer and other cancer, and they don't know why. And I'm like, how do you not know why? If you take a radiation detector and put it next to your phone, you will find that all the radiation is right here. So when you're holding the phone, you are just putting radiation right in here.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is distant. Distant is always going to be your friend. Distant the phone as far as you can. Yeah. And then the satellite phone, Monkey, I just want to point it out that we do give it away. We still give it away for free. And with this podcast, if they mention the word monkey, they will get a free bulletproof backpack with Faraday in it. So this way, when they have their phone in their backpack, it is not generating radiation to their body when they're not using it.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's a deal and a half right there. Let me tell you, those backpacks are golden, and I think they're underutilized. I think people, if you don't have one of these, and this is the first time you're hearing about a bulletproof backpack, you definitely want to add that to everything you got. I mean, whether it's a spouse working, whether it's your kids in school, or whether it's you, going for just a daytime adventure in a city, having that thing with the Faraday and everything else, that's sweet right there. I mean, that is very, very nice.
Yeah. So for that CEO recently that was shot, the healthcare CEO, should he have backpack, obviously, most likely he would have been alive. But the guy that shot him had a Faraday. That's the reason why Faraday bag. That's the reason why he was able to get away from the police for many, many days until a policeman recognized him somewhere, because he had all of his electronics in a Faraday bag. And that's we don't encourage people to use it for the wrong reason, but
Right.
look, your digital footprint is everywhere. You are being monitored, you're being tracked 24/7. Big tech knows when you're sleeping because they see the phone laying right next to you.
Yeah.
For 8 hours. They know where you're at, they know where you're shopping, where you go. And that's the reason why when you go somewhere, like if let's say you went to Macy's, you'll start seeing ads for Bloomingdale's, for example, because they've just told Bloomingdale's that, hey, this person's shopping at Macy's and there's a Bloomingdale next door, and that's the thing and that's not good. I think putting a little bit of dent in your digital footprint is a great idea. Don't let anyone monitor you 24/7. I would highly recommend that you put all of your electronics away at least 10 hours a day. That'll be good for your health because you're blocking the radiation for the 10 hours. You're also, when you're not using your phone, you're not allowing people to track you all the time.
Yeah.
And then for your health, for the health reason, I mean, look, the most dangerous time to use the phone with a lot of studies, and there's like a lot of studies out there. There's like 60 studies that we've already read that are put together by governments all over the world on how dangerous a cell phone is. But the most dangerous place is in the vehicle, because now what's happening is your phone is pinning cell tower to cell tower, so it's generating all this radiation, and you're in a box metal car, so your body is you're getting microwaved inside your car. And especially if you have children in a vehicle, and I highly recommend that you do not give any electronics to the children while you're driving. Yeah.
I will tell you, for my wife, at one point, I have one of the little devices to go and check and see what things are emitting. And she had one of the Apple laptops that she would sit when she'd get home from work, and she'd pop that open and she would be working and not having any type of protection, while it's sitting in her lap, in bed, watching TV, whatever it may be, typing away. And she's just radiating the daylights out of her ovaries, and I told her, I said, this device is putting out more than anything else I can find in the house. As simple as that. And so you start tying all of this stuff to the cancers, the brain, the thyroid, the ovaries, all the other stuff. And that's why we're having these massive spikes in cancer, because people are just getting, it's in their environment, and it's in their everyday environment. And it's not just onesie twosies, it's everything around us. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, I would completely agree with you. I put my stuff, I try to slide it into a Faraday bag. I even put my keys to my vehicle in a Faraday so that, it keeps people from doing drive-bys and unlocking my car and stealing it. So,
yeah. Also, when you're asleep at night, a lot of the young people, they put the phone underneath their pillow while they listen to music. If you put it in a Faraday bag, you can still hear the music, but you're not getting any radiation to your head. Also, you can still hear the alarm go off. Now, the phone will not ring when it's in there because there's no signal. But when you take it out, all the messages that were sent to you will still come through. So you're not going to miss anything. Just just limit yourself with electronics, and then put things when you're not using them. Put them in a Faraday bag. I think we recommend you turn off your router when you're sleeping. You don't need it. And then also make sure you're not anywhere in the bedrooms are anywhere near the smart meter, because that generates. We did a test, and that generates a lot of radiation as well. And the studies. I mean, if people can just go online and look at the studies. One of the studies that was done by our government took a family of rats or mice. I'm not sure which one, but they exposed them to the exact amount of radiation, EMF, that we are as humans. And by fourth generation, the family of rat was completely wiped out. So, so yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. You do not want to put your laptop on your lap while you're working. We do have the lap blankets that we sell at darkbags.com that you can put on your lap and then put your laptop on top of that. It's pretty comfortable. And we also have blankets and other products that you can protect yourself. At the end of the day, nobody can give up their electronics. I can't give up my phone completely. I don't think anybody can. So giving up our electronics is definitely not an option. So what can we do? So what we can do is we can kind of like slow it down, and especially for the children, do everything that we can to slow it down. So yeah, at darkbags.com, we do have some products. We've got some new products that are coming out next month. So we've got, like, sweaters that will have Faraday pockets, so that you'll be able to, the phone will still ring if you put it on a right pocket. The phone will not ring if you put it on a left pocket. So, but both pockets will protect you from radiation. And then we have like crossbody bags that have material of which is copper and silver infused material that blocks the radiation from going to your body, because people that carry the crossbody bag carry it right against their bodies. So when you put your cell phone in there, you've got your cell phone just frying you inside. It's the craziest thing. So we've got those.
It is.
Yeah.
You know what's nuts is it is almost like big pharma when it comes to the telecommunication companies and everything that they do. In fact, that they just have so much leverage on our government. Our government knows better. The governments around the world know better, but it's they're making so much money off of it that that they will never do anything to change it. The other thing too, if you go back and look at DARPA and all the programs that they've created, it's all been designed for mass surveillance. And so you talk about that dopamine effect where you can't get rid of your electronics, right? I mean, it's always within reach, somewhere around you. They know that, and they've done studies, and they do things to make us trigger that response, so that we have to go back for more. All of the whether it's TikTok or Instagram or any of these other sites, they're all designed for that. And then they've gone way beyond what just the normal stuff of just, the apps. You start talking about all the things that they've done over the years, whether it's Facebook or, LinkedIn or YouTube or any of these other sites that they have been behind the design of. Google is another one, right? But it was all designed for mass surveillance. And then you take on top of that, they've added the other elements of your DNA, which is really makes you wonder, okay, why does the DoD, Black Ops generating company, the DARPA, I mean, they do all kinds of really, really sketchy stuff. Why would they want to mess with DNA, right? They developed 23andMe, Ancestry.com, and they've been doing all that data collection all this time. And so you take everything that we have just talked about in terms of being able to track you within 3 feet. They know when you're sleeping, they know when you're buying stuff, etc. But if you take all of that and you put it all together and you start mixing the DNA aspect of it, then you start thinking, well, what if they decide that, hey, you know what? We see how all these people interact. What if we inject some type of a virus? We can watch this actually spread through all of our platforms, and we can basically control where it goes and how fast it spreads just by knowing how people, react and move and interact with other people. This is some pretty dark stuff when you really talk about what the governments are up to. And I love the fact that you've got all of these tools at your disposal. And if people would just engage and realize exactly what it is we're up against, I think everybody and their brother would have those Faraday bags, the bulletproof packs, the sat phones, and everything else on, at their disposal at any given point for their family and loved ones, because it is just, I mean, the world that we're up against, it's the only way we can compete.
Yeah, and you're right. We do have these computer bags. They are proof and they are Faraday, so you can fit a lot more than just computers in there. It does hold up to 17-inch computer, and I just want to remind the people that when you put your cell phone, your smartphone, cell phone, sat phone, wallet, keys in here, the second that you seal this, everything is locked up from the view of anybody. Nobody can view it. It is completely blocked. You are not being tracked. No one can see you.
Right.
Yeah. And then same thing. So we do have, handbags for women that can hold, a laptop, iPad, phone, keys, just about anything. And why not have it so that when your handbag is close to your body, that your electronics are not transmitting any EMF.
Yeah.
And I also want to kind of like close out with this too. What's happening to the animals? What's happening to the animals outside? Because 5G is still new. And then our pets, the veterinarians are saying, the pet increase of arthritis, cancer, it's skyrocketing. So what is it doing to our pets? And then what is it doing to the animals outside? That's with 5G. They're thinking of bringing 6G. That is going to be, we're going to kill the bees. We're going to, nobody's done any research. They just go and they install them. They get an approval, and they just go and install them. This is, people on the left are always saying, the environment, and, and that the right doesn't, like the environment and all that. It's not, it isn't us. It's big companies.
Yeah.
And what can you do to stop the 5G and the 6G tower, especially if they come with the 6G? The only thing that we could do is move far away from them. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else we could do. If they put a 6G near your house, you got to move out.
Yeah. Yeah. You talk about environment, and I watch, the eagles that build nests up on top of these big towers and everything. And you go, no, that won't be long, before you don't see them anymore. And it really is. It's that aspect of the study. I don't think they even care. That's the sad part about it is our pets or animals, outdoors, whatever, wildlife stuff it's all being impacted by this. And we won't notice it immediately, but I think the long-term effects are going to be something that we all start to notice, as they continue to just crank the knob on us, so to speak.
Yeah, I think it's going to take some time, maybe another 5 years before people are going to wake up to it. But if the 6G towers go up, it's going to be, animals, they're going to get microwaved out there, the wildlife, unless they're, far away. But yeah, it's insane. It's insane that we have allowed this to happen. For what? I mean, for faster data, we already had fast data. We already had, communication. I don't get it. I don't think, they do. And then the children, this is going to affect the young people, because I've only been exposed to it the last 5 years of my life. So I'm already in my 60s. So it is, how much can it affect me if it's something that can take years to show? But what about all the children? And why does anybody stop and say, why are 20-year-olds having cancer? It's
right.
The EMF. One of the studies that we looked at, the EMF pretty much destroys the immune system. And without the immune system, cancer, because we all have cancer cells, right? In our bodies already. Cancer just has its field day in the body. So that's kind of like what's happening. what I do, I just want to let you know, I go and I do water fasting to detox. I go to Sedona, somewhere where there's no 5G, for about a month out of every year. And I just water fast and I just detox and I bring my immune system, because we look at the blood work and we see where the immune system, and I encourage everybody to do blood work. You'll see your immune system is being compromised, and you'll see how the immune system is being affected by this 5G. So that's what I do, but I don't know if everybody can afford to take a month off and somewhere where they can detox and water fast, just go on a plant-based diet to get all of the EMF,
heavy metals and all the junk that's in your body. Yeah, because we're like sponges. We just go around and it's just, we absorb it over time. And the COVID thing almost killed me because of my gut health got so bad. I had a small intestinal bleed from that, and I had to have a blood transfusion, an iron transfusion, and it got to the point where I was running out of options. I ended up using something called Aloe Cure, and it stopped my bleed within about 12 hours. And that's what I use to keep it under control. But you're right. You have to take yourself kind of out of things a little bit to kind of get a reset and maybe prolong your life,
Yeah. It's funny you said Porlan. There is a company called Porlan. I don't work for them or anything, but they have a 5-day fast without you get the same results as drinking just water for 5 days, but you get a little bit of food. It was put up by a doctor that I love, that I use. They highly recommend you do that once a month. And also, my sister is an expert in gut health. That's what she does. She's written stuff about health. She's done universities about gut health. So if you'd like, sometime I can introduce you to her. She'll definitely get your heal the gut. I think it's called gut health. I'll send it to you when I get it from her. But she's done a class on it, and I think her and Mike Adams did a podcast that's going to be released next week about gut health, because some of the people and his staff, I think, used it and they loved it. So they were like, let's put this in our university to educate people on gut health. So we'll definitely introduce you if you'd like.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. That there's a lot to that. And if your gut health isn't good, you'll be getting sick. Everything you get in contact with will get you. So
right. Two things, right? There's two things that you need to keep your whole body going. You got to keep your feet. You got to make sure your feet are always in good health, because your feet are, they control everything in your body, right? Your back, your everything, and then your gut. You keep your gut clean, your immune system. You get your gut healthy. If you have a leaky gut, you know how you can tell if you have a leaky gut?
No.
Okay. So when you wake up in the morning, keep a glass of water, a little bit of water, 1/4 of an ounce of water in it. And then when you wake up in the morning, spit in it. If your spit sinks, you have a leaky gut.
Really?
Yeah. So you got to, and they say that at least maybe 2 or 3 out of 10 have leaky gut and they don't even realize it, because there's no symptoms, but you got to get that healed, and that's an easy fix. And that's where Dr. Williams, her website is called, in case people want to see reach out to her website's called Being Functional. She used to be a doctor. She gave up she left the hospital. Her and her husband were both doctors, because they were trying to force the COVID, and they knew what was in the COVID vaccine. So they both left, and she started Being Functional, and her husband started his own office in St. Louis. Yeah, so he does functional medicine, IVs, vitamins, and a doctor. But most things can be preventative. You don't need to be on drugs for the rest of your life.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, thank you so much. Do you have any final words for our audience? Anything else? Where can people find you, Monkey?
Yeah. Well, you can get me on YouTube over at just monkeywerx.com. Or you can just go monkeywerx.com on the internet to find my website. And I've got most of my stuff out there, everything from the coffees and things that I sell to blogs and things of that nature. So, but we have a pretty large community growing leaps and bounds over on Patreon. So jump over there. It's a great community. And no, I will just say to the audience and those that are watching, if you've been thinking about making some changes and adjusting the things that you do with whether it's Faraday, whether it's bulletproof backpacks, whether it's satellite phones or the Starlink, you definitely dig into it, call you guys and start augmenting what you have and bringing these online, because it is going to eventually come into play and you're going to want to have these things. You really are. They're fantastic products. And like I said, I've got a lot of stuff that you carry and I swear by it. It is definitely a game changer. And the stuff that you guys are doing is going to change lives. It really is. It's because it is not, people don't really, we're not wired. You think about, just the basic everyday dependency with the cell phones and, what can I do? It's really, I can't do anything to change it. But that environment is changing quickly. And if you're not ahead of it and you're not trying to outthink what they're trying to do to us, you're going to be consumed by it. So, right. So anyway, that's just my shameful plug for you guys, because I absolutely love you all to death, and you take such good care of us, and you do offer just some amazing products out there, and I really hope people will start to kind of really put the priorities in order.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, obviously, we experienced life savings just this past year with Helene and Hurricane Milton, and then also the fires in LA. Luckily we had a office in San Diego. We were able to drive a whole bunch of phones to the fire departments and first responders up there because there was no communication. I think there's a video of the governor of California, Newsom, trying to use his cell phone. A lady walked up to him and said, I want to talk to you. He's like, I'm trying to call the president. At the time it was Biden. And then she's like, well, let me see. And he's like, but I don't have any service. And he showed her the phone and he had no service. And it's like, well, how can he not have a satellite phone? It just blows my mind that the governor of, one of the largest states didn't have a satellite phone so that he can make a call to the president from wherever, we just, it's so nice to be prepared to have a satellite phone in event that there is an emergency, so that you can help all of your neighbors. One person, that's all it takes. One person in the neighborhood, and everybody gets help.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's so nice talking to you, and really, really appreciate you, and we'll definitely be in touch. So thank you. God bless you, and my best too.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you.